And thus, I honor my mother's legacy. The grand design, once again, ended by my line.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of Orpheus's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
I must obey. I must end.
Hopes, nightmares, and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn infants. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. Free of urge and worm, your brain is battered and bruised. But it is yours. Yours at last. Everything you did, everything you sacrificed, it was worth it. For this.
It's done. The Netherbrain is defeated. Along with the grand design, praise Mother Gith.
My powers, they're draining. Just like Mizora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things.
And I'm still standing in the sun. This is incredible. Maybe whatever changed in me was permanent.
The parasite. It's withered. Dead along with the Netherbrain. I am cleansed. I will never be a filthy geich. Only mild offense intended, of course. You did the unthinkable. And I'm grateful for it.
Even when my time in the prism stretched out like eternity, when escape seemed impossible, I never lost hope. I knew that my destiny was to liberate my people, to return to them triumphant. I was wrong. It seems I can only fulfill one part of my destiny. My people will be liberated, but I cannot return to them. Not like this. You helped me destroy that abomination. Now help me destroy myself. You must kill me. But first, Lae'zel, I need your promise. Carry my hope. Carry my burden. Call my dragons, Kulos and Kuthos, and ride to the Astral Sea. Destroy Vlaakith. Release our people. Be our future and our legacy.
It will be done. I will never be free while my people are still bound by Vlaakith's chains.
Enough talk. Give me my freedom. Freedom from this form. Yes. But for how long? My mind screams. It will never stop until it has slipped away from me entirely. I will not be Geich. I did what I did to save my people. The rest is up to them. Someone else must rise within the ranks to lead the revolution against Vlaakith. Give me my freedom from this form. Release my soul to the astral seas, while I still have one to call my own. Githka Tavkim crashed.
Kulos! I can never forget you. Your name will be etched in our slates. You will be called Mlagir, Liberator. To the skies!
The Githyanki are leaving us. An unlikely place to find ourselves, fighting on the same side as them.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city, smouldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Giontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. The power of Karsus would be in my hands. But what then? What would I do with it once I have it? And what kind of god would I be? No kind the world will suffer for the absence of. And, I hope, there are plenty on mortal soil who would regret my absence. If this adventure has taught me anything, it's that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, I'm growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Misra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
Now you're talking. After all that, I think I'll need a drink in each hand and a third on the table. But I think right of choosing should fall to you. What'll it be? Not just the city. Imagine the swathe of destruction the Absolute's armies will have caused.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the... Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
It seems that's the end of Astarion's love affair with the sun. That'll be hard on him.
We did it, soldier. The city's going to be all right. And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. Held on just long enough. So, how'd I do? So are you. My friend. My companion. I adore you. Careful! Hot! I never gave up. I did my best. I did my best. It's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? I wanted to live in my city with my friends. But life is for the living. And I saw... Goodbye, sun. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye.
No, stop. I won't allow this. Karlak, you're coming with me. Back to Avernus. We can't let her die. Not like this. Not now.
You can't.
So, what do you say? Die here now, or live on with the blade of Avernus at your side. Zariel won't touch you. I swear it, Karlak.
Fine. I'll go. Well, with you. But we have to go. Now. I can't hang on much longer.
it's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no Illithid Empire, no Death God's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate. You slept like a babe straight through the night, dreamless, thoughtless, and almost entirely free. For the first time, you feel alone, calm. You breathe. Baal may have been your beginning, but he will not be your end. Of all those you killed in your father's name, one lingers in your mind even now. Isabel, the cleric of Selûne. Her death weighs upon you still, a burden you will carry for the rest of your days. But fortunately, you will not have to carry it alone.
Last night was perfect. Saving the world is quite the aphrodisiac. In truth, conflicted. We may have put a stop to the Absolute and rid ourselves of the tadpoles, but too many of my own concerns went untended as a result. Now I must try to rectify that. See to my own affairs. Little point in saving the world only to have no clear place in it afterwards. This is something I have to do for myself. What we shared was special to me, but I think our paths diverge from here on. But who knows? Perhaps we'll meet again. Though, hopefully not after being abducted. Be good. And if you can't be good, just don't get caught.
Well, soldier, here we are. It worked. My engines calmed down. I shouldn't have let you come here. This isn't going to be easy, you know. Zariel's going to come at us with everything she's got. And now Raphael's in the mix too. Gods. Like clockwork. They'll be on us soon. But there's just enough time. Thought I was done with these. But then, there was you. Imps are fast, but careless. Don't let them tire you out, just get rid of them. And don't forget, you asked for this. Better let these fuckers know I'm back. And this time, I'm not alone.
6 months since you faced your father and refused your birthright. 6 months since you cured yourself of the urge. Your life is your own now, and you are already becoming someone new. But the memories of the past will not leave you alone. You receive an invitation one day, in a hand you recognize immediately. Challenger of gods, it reads. Surely thou wishest to see thine true family once more. Withers, who raised you when your father struck you down. He bids you join him as a gathering of your allies and friends. So, once again, you return to the place where you formed your first memories. You are calm. You are you. You can do this.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, so have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. Filled out and healthy is what I was going for. Don't tell me you miss living off whatever scraps we found in crates and barrels. I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. Oh, don't be such a grumpy rosé. Being sentimental is what parties are for. Give it some time. You'll loosen up as the night progresses. Must I? You presume a great deal. I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. I can imagine. A celebrity in their midst. They must have raised their voices from whispers to faint murmurs. Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves. Don't remind me. Someone's always got somewhere else to be, but let's do our best all the same. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars. Don't be a stranger. I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But a girl can't have fun with... You might be onto something there, though the name might need work. Somehow it sounds rude, even though I know otherwise. Oh, twist my arm and break it, why don't you? hit the spot. Don't be a stranger.
Now, there's a face I know.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any... I know it can. For I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. I always do. Should I ever decline? That was more than worth the wait. Rest assured, my arms shall be ready. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. Please, spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image. You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less, in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the... I was just thinking the very same. Your embrace makes me feel safer than any armor could. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can...
Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And I must say, for someone who had to face down a dark god, you seem to be doing remarkably well. What have you been up to? No relapses, I hope? Of course. A very sensible step. The last thing we wanted was another surprise. Not that I was worried, of course. I knew you'd have this under control. But I am glad to see you doing well. I'm glad to see us all doing well, in fact. Things turned out rather nicely in the end. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been. Hardly. Good people don't spend as much time lurking in the dark as I do. You know, it's funny. At first, I thought I was trapped by the shadows, cursed to live in them forever. But in time, I realized that darkness is as much a part of me. I decided not to be defined by the choices other people made, by what other people did to me. My past may be done, but my present, my future, they're mine. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse. That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun, if the opportunity presented it. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling. After everything, this
Old friend. For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. But to see your face, it brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. It's nice to hear it. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run. Shractalor. Let's say both. I can't imagine a greater pleasure than Vlaakith's unmaking. Shractalor is the capital of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine until the madness of... Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to their god king Zareth Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. Exactly the reaction I expected. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the... Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm. And to you, always. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun. This is...
With haste.
Well, well. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. Well, that was quite lovely. I'm glad you're as pleased to see me as I am you. I have to say, I'm quite grateful to just be Gale for the evening. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation, or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would, and in return she cured me of the orb at last. Even now I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Ah, so you still remember our little lesson. It was at that moment, the weave connecting us, that I realized how much your friendship had come to mean to me. As it still does. Teaching you was hardly an effort at all. Not like my present cohort of apprentices. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? Quiet is not always peace. That much I can vouch for. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. Excellent. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist the allure of sharing your expertise. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come. I can't believe it's quite...
Oh, shit. Soldier! It's really you! I've missed you, you old bile spawn. Oh, do you not want me to call you the B word anymore? Please tell me you're opening a bathhouse in the gate. When I get out, I'm gonna need to soak for years to wash off the stink of Avernus. It's been tough. But having Will around has been incredible. Fucker's even better at killing devils than yours truly. Oh, but hey, guess what we found? Cambion dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. Our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and force him to fix old Rusty. Or maybe give me a brand new model that can live outside of Avernus. You haven't seen the last of old Karlak yet, soldier. You don't need to ask, soldier. I won't be in Avernus forever, you know. Can I look you up when I'm out? Hey! That would be kind of fun, though. High-stakes hide and seek. Gods, is it good to see you again. To be here, together. Hard not to get used to it all over again. This won't be the last time. I promise. Oh, it smells so good here! Oh, I could eat a beholder. What's cooking?
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source
There
food?
you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a
Withers
stale
has laid
loaf
out
of
quite a
bread
spread
just
of
to get
food,
by.
for one comprising mostly of bone. Perhaps he wishes to live vicariously through the attendees' appetites.
Withers can pluck wine from all over the world, but is there one
Withers
bottle of
has a
fresh
keen eye for a
blood?
nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels?
There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it? By the good gods, how bad do I reek? Ugh, shit. Dried devil's blood. Stinks like a skunk squat. No wonder. Karlach and I have felled enough cambions to... Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlach can fill you in. I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear. I can't imagine not. I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's lead, and he's back in his element. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds. Bane's chosen primed the fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them that, with a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself. Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Some fish heads and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Cheers to you. Cheers to Withers. Cool, fresh air. By the living gods, I needed it.
Let's see what this does.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel? Yes. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.